So, Amari Cooper just got traded for a seventh round pick and a sixth round pick to the Buffalo Bills. Amari Cooper and a seventh just got traded to the Buffalo Bills for a third round pick and a sixth round pick. It's not that I don't see why. It's that the same week that Kevin Stefanski goes out and says, you know what, guys, the best chance to win is with Deshaun Watson. Now let's trade his number one option, right? Like, those two sentences don't coincide with each other. The idea that the number one chance for the Browns to win is Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and then let's trade away Deshaun Watson's number one weapon is a joke and a travesty. Now, I will say, we traded a fifth round pick 2 years ago for Amari Cooper. Got his back-to-back 1,000-yard reception years, back-to-back career years. Gave him his best chances as a wide receiver. And we flipped him for a third round pick. That's nice work, Andrew Berry. You sold him when you needed him to. The issue is this. Here we are at Fantasy Pros Next Gen Stats, Advanced Stats, whatever you want to call it. In 2023, Amari Cooper, I'm going to go and look right at it. I want to make sure I'm very fair and open about what happened and what could happen. So Amari Cooper, in 15 games, had 1,200 yards, 1,811 air yards, 3.8 yards after catch per reception, and had 68 yards after contact. Was not a very big, yak guy. As soon as he catches it, hit the ground. His targets, he had 128 targets, 72 receptions. About 50% of the time he caught the ball when targeted. Only had 7 drops in 15 games. In 2024, though, Amari Cooper already only has 15 yards after contact, has 53 targets, 24 receptions, and has dropped 9 balls. That's not good. Not good at all. No big plays outside of 30, 40, or 50. No big plays in the 30, 40, or 50. Last year, Amari Cooper had 5 50-yard plays, 8 40-yard plays, 8 30-yard plays. We are 1-5. Season's over. It hurts to lose Amari Cooper. It does. But I see why it was done. I got nothing to say for you guys. It sucks. It really, really sucks that Amari Cooper is no longer on the team. We went from, at the end of last season, Amari Cooper buying into the Browns, having him and Joe Flacco do that slime challenge, him having the phone and going, "Here we go, bro," doing the whole dog pound chant, to this year, his body language is obviously not in it. He's dropping balls. It's like his brain is on airplane mode, right? Is that when the entire game, every single play is either a throw out of bounds, inaccurate, or Deshaun Watson runs into a sack from a clean pocket with open receivers. Your brain is like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna run this route. Then all of a sudden, boom, a ball gets zipped at you. Your brain isn't expecting it because all game he's not getting the ball to you, and then all of a sudden, randomly, oh, he's gonna throw me a really good ball. Your brain it doesn't comprehend because you're already clocked out. You're tuned out of the game. You're just running routes. You're on airplane mode. A lot of the times with me, my consciousness goes to the back of my head, and I drive on airplane mode. I drive forklift on airplane mode. I talk to customers on airplane mode. I sit and play video games in airplane mode. It happens. I disassociate. It's like Amari Cooper disassociated from the team, from his own body. He was out there running routes and just gave up. That's what it feels like. It feels like Amari Cooper said, you know what? It's not even worth it. Where he's 18 of 44, right? 30 balls aren't going my way. The 3 that do go my way, I catch one of them. Because I'm so used to this game in this season and in practice, balls being inaccurate, not coming at me, I'm not expecting the ball. So I fully believe Amari Cooper is going to turn his brain back on and he's going to have 1,000 yards this year. He's going to be immediately wide receiver number 1 for the Buffalo Bills, immediately have a 100-yard game, and immediately be like, oh my God, thank God I'm out of Cleveland. And it hurts, right? I wear this proudly. It hurts that is exactly what's going to happen with Amari Cooper. And we know it. And this signals to me a lot of other guys are on the trade market. Zadarius Smith is on the trade market. Juan Thornhill is on the trade market. Dalvin Tomlinson, Mo Hurst are maybe on the trade market. On offense, Wyatt Teller on the trade market. Jack Conklin. Maybe they might be as crazy enough to say David Njoku. Like, Jameis Winston for sure is on the trade market. There's all these players that we signed to win right now that are not going to be on the team in a couple of weeks. Right? We're 3 weeks away from the trade deadline. I would fully expect at least 1 or 2 more names on this team that we signed in the last 2 years to go win a Super Bowl to be on another team. And that sucks because we fully were ready. This window was wide open and Deshaun Watson ended it. Right? The Browns are disappointing right now. Right? We got a 3rd round pick for Amari Cooper. Not bad value. The issue is that Andrew Berry can't draft in the 3rd round. He just can't. Martin Emerson is his best pick in the 3rd round. That's in 4 years. That's the only guy that's worked. Anthony Schwartz, David Bell, Isaiah McGuire, Siaki Iko, who just got cut today from the practice squad. Like, these guys are busts. Martin Emerson is the only one that's somewhat comparable, and this year he's having a bad year. But his first 2 years he was dominant, so I'm giving him that hit. That's a hit in my opinion. He's having a down year. He is. But his first 2 years, he was dominant. So his 3rd round pick, to me, means nothing, right? Unless we somehow get another Martin Emerson. But a 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 draft hit is not good enough for a premier pick. And day 2, round 3, it's a premier pick. The 3rd round is the end of where I expect that person to play meaningful minutes for the team. 1st round pick has to be a starter or someone who's going to be a starter very soon. Right? So whether it's a Jordan Addison, right? He obviously isn't wide receiver 1. Adam Thielen, if he was still there, he would have been wide receiver 3. But you're projecting to be wide receiver 2 within the next year or 2, right? Offensive line usually is starters. Defensive line. The Cardinals, right? They drafted defensive lineman. He's playing, but he's not the starter. But he's projected to be the starter. Same with the Cowboys with Marshawn Kneeland. Guys that are projected to be starters in the next year, but they're kind of developing. Or a 1st round pick is a starter. 2nd round. Again, a high rotation player, potential starter, depending on the position. A 2nd round quarterback is not going to start day 1. At least they shouldn't, because you should have drafted them in the 1st round. Round 2 is where you get those wide receivers who are rotation guys, who could be starters. Your tight ends, your running backs, your offensive linemen that have high potential, defensive linemen with high potential that are project picks. Round 3 is your rotation guys. Those are your bench players who come in for specific moments. You get your run stuffing D tackle, your zone corner who's really good in the red zone, your safety who can play a box safety role in certain formations. That's the end of the line of guys that you know are going to start. Round 4, 5, 6, 7, you're taking shots at the dartboard, right? A quarterback that might hit. A wide receiver who's really good at deep throw. He's a deep threat, but he can barely catch the ball. 4, 5, 6. Tight ends who can block. 4, 5, 6, 7. Your kickers and punters. 6 and 7. Linebackers who specialize in one thing and are okay at it. 5, 6, 7. So we got a premier pick. We got someone who should be a key rotational player. We have that pick. If it does not work out, and it hasn't in the last couple of years, that's going to be another thing on Andrew Berry. He's very good at trading. I stand by this. I think Andrew Berry, he has every single trade but Deshaun Watson has worked out for the team. Elijah Moore, you got a player who is starting for you, who has shown flashes, and all you did, you slipped back a couple of picks, right? It was a 2nd round pick for a 3rd round pick in Elijah Moore. You slid back 20 to 25 picks. You picked up someone that you knew could play in the NFL. That's fine by me. And he's getting open. He has 8th highest separation rates in the NFL right now. He is open. But Deshaun Watson's not throwing him the football. And we saw that with Joe Flacco, that his troubles were after he got the ball in his hands, he wasn't a great yak receiver. But he's getting open right now. Right? You trade for Jerry Jeudy, I think a 5th round pick or a 6th round pick. You trade for Jerry Jeudy. Great value. Zadarius Smith, great value. Like, you're seeing the value. Amari Cooper was for a 5th round pick a couple of years ago. You traded for Deion Jones, I think 2 years ago, and he played okay minutes. It wasn't the greatest. It was one of those like, oh, we have a lot of injuries. Let's go get Deion Jones, who is okay. He is okay. I don't really would count that. It was like a 6th or a 7th round pick. I don't really count that. You traded for Nick Harris, a 7th round pick for Nick Harris. I liked it this year. They trade back to Nick Harris after Ethan Pochik went down with injury. Then Nick Harris gets hurt again. I thought that was a good pick again. It's someone who knew the system and who knew the team. I understand trading Amari Cooper. I get it. But for a 3rd round pick for a GM who struggles in the 3rd round, to me, it means less, right? Amari Cooper going to the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has his wide receiver 1. That's going to suck, right? An AFC opponent, but guess what? We're 1-5, so it doesn't even freaking matter. We're not going to see him in the playoffs. We're not going to see him in the playoffs. We're not going to see Amari Cooper again because we're not going to be in the playoffs ever with Deshaun Watson under center. The only good thing about Amari Cooper being traded is that now Jamari Thrash, who was drafted in the 3rd round this past year, Jamari Thrash, a wide receiver from Louisville, who was drafted in the 3rd round this past year, gets to not be inactive every week. We actually get to see Jamari Thrash play football. A premier pick wasted being inactive the last 6 weeks because we don't know what to do with him and there's not enough roster spots for him because he's a wide receiver, not a returner. So he doesn't have dual ability. I don't care. That is a premier pick. Jamari Thrash needs to play. That is a premier pick. The fact that Jamari Thrash has not played at all this year is a joke. A joke. A waste of a 3rd round pick. So no, I am not excited for Amari Cooper getting a 3rd round pick. And no, I don't have a lot of hope that's going to work out. But I'm happy for Amari Cooper. He's going from a team that he doesn't want to be on to a Super Bowl contender, right? James Cook, Amari Cooper, amazing weapons for Josh Allen. Throwing Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman. Great weapons for Josh Allen. The offensive line is improving as well, getting back healthy and back to form. Good for Amari Cooper. But the Browns have a lot of question marks still. Is Jamari Thrash going to be able to play? Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver 1 now. Can Jerry Jeudy be a wide receiver 1 in the system that Kevin has? I think there's a very high chance. If we look back at the numbers, this year Jerry Jeudy has 20 receptions on 36 targets. That is an 18% team percentage share and a great ratio. He's only missed 3 catchable balls. 3 drops. That's it. That is all. He's had 3 drops in 6 games. Still a lot, but I'd rather him have a really low target to reception ratio where that means he's catching the ball. Jerry Jeudy has to step up, right? He's averaging 10 yards per reception, 23 air yards, so he's getting a little bit more down the field. I fully expect Jerry Jeudy to take a step back because he's not a wide receiver 1, but I hope I'm wrong. He's the only receiver with 2 big plays. No one else even has a big play because Deshaun Watson can't throw the ball. So Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver 1. Elijah Moore is now probably hopefully still a slot receiver, and we see more of Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash on the outside. I don't know what I'm supposed to make of this. I understand trading Amari Cooper. I get it. Would I have done it? No. But I get it. You got a 3rd round pick for it. But you have so many more question marks. You're obviously tanking. Why is Deshaun Watson still playing? Bench him. Play DTR. Play Jameis Winston. Make sure, as the owner, Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, as the owner, make sure the issue isn't Kevin Stefanski. Because I don't think the issue is Kevin Stefanski. I said in my last video, DTR, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, Case Keenum, all had success. Kirk Cousins, all had success with Kevin Stefanski. Only one that hasn't is Deshaun Watson. So play Jameis Winston or DTR. See if you win some games. You're not winning games with Deshaun Watson. You're not. So bench him. If I'm Jimmy Haslam, I want to make sure you're the right coach. Because if I'm going to have the number 1 overall pick and Andrew Berry's going to have the number 1 overall pick, you want to make sure that head coach can develop them. Can you develop DTR? Have DTR start the rest of this year. Can you develop him? Have Jameis Winston. Can you develop him? Can you play well with the quarterback? Because I'm not going to let you coach and develop someone if you can't develop them? You may get the most out of them, but can you develop them from a number 1 overall pick to a franchise quarterback? That is 2 different things. Trevor Lawrence was the number 1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick. Trey Lance was the number 3 overall pick. Zach Wilson, number 2. Mac Jones, number 10. Like, there's a lot of guys that go in the top 10, but not a lot of them turn into franchise quarterbacks. You need to figure out if Kevin Stefanski is a guy to develop a franchise quarterback. I think he is. But if there's any question from Jimmy Haslam to Andrew Berry, you gotta bench Deshaun Watson. You're losing with them. See if with this exact same roster, now without Amari Cooper, Kevin Stefanski can make a game plan for DTR or Jameis Winston to win a football game. So you know when you draft Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, whoever you draft, that he can develop them. You've got to know. I would go DTR personally because DTR was drafted in this realm of quarterbacks under Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. He's the only one that drafted in the 5th round, and he played pretty damn well last year when he had a week of training. Now, year 2, give him, maybe once the bye week happens, give him 2 weeks to prep up. I want to see DTR what he can do. I understand that this video kind of went all over. It was more of a Browns rant than an Amari Cooper, but I'm happy for Amari Cooper. I am. I'm happy he got out. I'm happy he can try and go win a Super Bowl. I just wish it was here. And I wish we would have gotten maybe a 2nd or a 1st round pick. But it's okay. Guess what? Browns are back Sunday. I'm going to watch, obviously. And I can't wait to see Deshaun Watson get benched for Jameis Winston or DTR. I'm excited to see maybe next year. Nick Chubb comes back this week. I'm excited to see Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett and David Njoku and Joel Bitonio and Denzel Ward. JOK. Guys that my team drafted and developed. I'm excited to see them. I can't wait. If you guys enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Next picks of the week coming out tomorrow. Good night.